Listen to Ozekome speaking after Nnamdi Kanu's appeal court victory of 2022. Listen to Ozekome.
There was one fundamental issue on which the court today anchored its judgment, this intermediate court. And that is that the lower court never evaluated the mountain of evidence placed before it regarding the forceful capture, kidnap, torture, and extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya back to Nigeria on the 26th of June, 2021.
What's the verdict?
He put it very clearly that the High Court, before that appeal court victory, did not take into account the kidnap, torture, and rendition, which is very important because this argument was made that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and tortured and dragged back to Nigeria, and the court refused to recognize that illegality. So Michael Ozekome was making it very clearly, because the appeal court upheld as at then that Nnamdi Kanu should be sent back to Kenya, that it was illegal for the lower court to give judgment against Kanu because he was illegally brought into the country, which on its own has already brought the case to a null and void. You remember that Nigeria just before then became a signatory to African Charter, and also the AU Charter. They ratified it, and also the UN Charter that spells out the accurate process that one can be brought in from, another country to another country. Specified that there are rules and regulations internationally guiding the extradition of somebody back to another country to face charges. But the lower court, of course, you remember how Buhari, twisted the lower court and how they were used to carry out injustice. Decided to turn a blind eye because they thought that justice being blind means that it is going to be blind to one side, failing to see that the eye of justice is blind to both sides. Suddenly it became blind to Nnamdi Kanu's side. It could not see any sense they were arguing in court. And looking around in that press conference, you will see Max Okpara there. You will also see Ifeanyi Ejiofor there. You will also see Michael Ozekome and a few others, people who have been there for years. People did a good job on that day. They did a good job. As a team of lawyers then, they did a good job in getting to this point, because it is your lawyers that will